Welcome back! In this video, I'm going to go more in depth with CSS and make this story really look piratey. So you'll see right now we have our story with a black background and white text, and this could work great for, say, a horror story or something more general, but I think we want something with a more swashbuckling aesthetic, you know? So, let us open up our story style sheet right here. It's written in CSS, and CSS stands for Cascading Style Sheets, if you didn't know. This is the code that runs on web pages so that what we see looks nice. It controls color, font, size, even what font that font is. It can even edit margins so that things are spaced nice, so that you don't only see things on computer screens, but on your phone or tablet as well. It's amazing to have a language that works universally, doesn't it? That's way above our pay grade right now, at least. So let's start by changing that ugly black to a new color. In the TW Twine Story tag, I'm going to write background color colon white. Why not? White. And then adding that semicolon at the end. And let's see what that looks like. Ah, that's pretty bright. That sure is white. So white you can't even see the white text, so that kind of stinks. Luckily the blue links are still visible, but let's make that more usable. So instead of white, let's change it to, say, green. You can type in green and see. Yes, that's green. It doesn't look much like a pirate adventure, more, say, a swamp adventure, and it doesn't really match the blue that well. So let's go with, well, edit this up and say, red, maybe. Red, no, orange. Orange or yellow? Thinking like in parchment type deals, so like orange. We could probably do yellow, orange. That's better, but now it just looks pumpkin-y. So obviously, you don't have to just type out the color, because we want to get way more accurate with it. Like, I want a reddish orange. We can't type in reddish orange, but I can type red, I can type orange. What should I do? Well, that's where the color picker comes to the rescue. So simply searching, not color picker, but color picker, like here. And Google has a handy one right here that we can use. So you start by figuring out which color you want on the dial, and then, like, say I want a more parchment-y color. So let's say a redder orange-ish, but like very light. All right. So, that's looking all right. Let's see if I can. Sure, that should work. Maybe so if I want to add this specific color right here, I just copy the hex. Very convenient. Hashtag FFFBCC. Come on back down to the background color and just paste, making sure it's got the hashtag and it's purple. Got the ending semicolon. And now if we play it, you know, that looks a lot better for a pirate adventure type deal. What if I wanted something a little bit more yellowy? I could say, edit the style sheet and make it something like FFEDE. I picked this color out already because I just really like the pastel type look to it for pirate adventuring, so that's why I'm going for it. But you'll notice that the text still looks really garbage because it's white. But luckily, we can change that. We can totally make it work. We can go to our story style sheet and we can add this little tag called color. And color is very simple. It works just like the text. It's not the background color, it is the color for text. So if I do color and say red, maybe, making sure we have that ending semicolon, and we test our story. Now you have some bright reds. You have some bright red stuff right here, and that's nice. That's nice. Yes. I don't think I want red. I think I want something with a little more precision, so I'm going to use that color picker again. Just because it's so great. Such a great tool. I'm going to use color picker again. And we're going to go for a more orangey, a darker orangey red color, like here. Here per se. Oh, that's nice. Yeah. Maybe a little darker than that. Ooh, perfect. Some C96512 action, if you know what I'm saying. So let's go back to our style sheet. We can add that instead of a boring old red. Oh, didn't catch the hashtag for some reason. Add that. Press play. Ah, Captain, I see a vessel arriving. Now that looks like you're reading it right off of a treasure map. You know, speaking of treasure map, what if we had like this whole background as a treasure map? It's like we have some texture to this background. You know, wouldn't that be cool? Well, Twine just so happens to have a neat little thing to use that for. So in the same TW story, a lot of stuff is in TW story, we can add this little neat thing called a background dash image. And it does exactly what you expect. You can put in an image, but how do you get the image? That's as simple as using a URL. Now, you probably don't know what a URL is. It's basically the HTTPS. It's the web address for your picture. And you're like, well, how do I get a web address for a picture? It's pretty simple, actually. We'll just look up something like pirate map. We'll be like, ooh, this one looks nice. Like, oh, you know, oh, this one looks a lot better, actually. This one right here. Yeah, so if we want to use this, we can right-click, and we copy the image location, make sure it's location, and then we go back to our style sheet. And inside the URL, we'll do double quotes like this for the web address and paste, Control V. And just like that, we have our URL pasted. But it needs one more trick to work correctly, and that's by typing background size :cover. And what that does is that it stretches the background image to the entire background of the web page. So no matter what size the web page is, whether it's on your phone, on your tablet, you know, I've set this spiel. So let me show you what that looks like. Nice. Now we have our own pirate treasure map in the background, and that goes for going down the story like this too. Isn't that neat? It can be a little distracting though, so maybe let's get rid of this for this case, but you can probably see a lot of opportunities where that would really be impressive. So I'm just gonna get rid of this. Delete, and we can go back to normal. But what if we had that map in a passage, like not in the background of text, but just as like a image that the player themselves could look at? We can totally do that by going into plundering some ships. Let's just say, not for the sake of story, but for the sake of showing it off, I put it right here. You can easily put it in with this weird little thing called an image tag. You'd be like, what the heck is an image tag? Well, in HTML, tags are what make up everything in a web page. So the images that you see on a web page are just made up with this img tag, and it's used with these little left caret, right caret. I don't know the proper keyboard name for them, but they're right next to your M key and between your slash question mark key. So to type it in, you'll do img in between these, s space src equals, double quotes like this. So after you paste that, you can do width equals auto and height equals auto. Now, what does auto mean? Well, auto makes it so that the image is as wide as it can be. What its original dimensions are, it'll stretch to on your, it'll grow to that size on your web page. So it's not like the cover functionality for the background image where it just stretches out as far as it needs to be. It'll actually be as big as it is as an image. So the native resolution, if it's 11 pixels by 60 pixels, it's going to be exactly that if you do auto. So you don't need to remember the width or the height, so that's very convenient. And we're also going to add alt, and what alt is, it's the text that's displayed when your image doesn't load for some reason. Like someone needs to see it and they're like confused, where's the image? Like you could say, well, it has trouble loading, and you can just say what the image is. It's a pirate map. So some people confused to be like, oh, I'm supposed to see a pirate map here, I guess. So, and just conveniently with an ending caret tag right there, I will show you what that looks like. Plundering some ships. Oh my gosh, now that is a big, big map. But isn't that cool? It's right there on the inside. Now, obviously that's a little too big. So if we wanted to change that, we could go into the width and say, choose the numbers 900 pixels of the px and 600 pixels with the px right there. And now let's see what that looks like. Much more manageable. That totally works. Yes, I like that so far. It looks a lot better. Well, I think this little adventure is getting close to being completed. The CSS is making it look awesome, and we even added our own treasure map the players themselves can see. In the next video, we'll talk about the process of uploading our Twine stories online so everyone can see them. Because you're spending such a great job on it, you've got to show it off to the world. I'll see you then.